Welcome everybody to the Avengers podcast, where we talk Marvel, DC, Star Wars, and more. I'm your host Peyton, and with me is my co-host Torin. How's it going?
Hello. How's it going?
It's going freaking fantastic. Let me tell you, because we got a great show for everyone today. Of course, we are ending Batman month with the highly anticipated, we'll get into how we feel about the movie later, the Batman. Of course, ending Batman month. We talked about all the Batman movies leading up to this. So if you're interested in those, go and listen to those. But of course, we're talking about the Batman this week. But before we get into the Batman, we of course have the news of the week. You know, we got some, general Marvel news. We got some Batgirl news. We got some Star Wars news. So let's get right into that. But before we do, like always, there will be time codes in the description or the show notes. If you want to jump around straight to the review, you can go ahead and do that. So let's start off with some Star Wars news. This rumor comes from the actor Rob Lowe. Jim O'Heir, who is an actor who played a good character in Parks and Recreation, he's rumored to be cast in The Mandalorian season 3. It was actually pretty funny because this was sort of revealed, I guess, on Rob Lowe's Parks and Recreation podcast, and they had a Jim O'Heir on as a guest, and they were doing a Zoom thing, and Jim O'Heir was like, I can't really talk about what I'm doing right now, but I can say I'm in New Mexico. And then Rob Lowe, the dumbass, was all like, I could say you're working on, like, he said, he was like, it rhymes with Blar doors or something like that. I'm like, wow, really subtle, Rob, really subtle. But yeah, and there's nothing as far as we know now Star Wars related that's filming other than The Mandalorian season 3. So that's likely what it is. But other than that, this next piece of news comes from Tom Henderson, who is a notorious leaker. Apparently, Star Wars Eclipse is reportedly now expected to release as late as 2028, as Quantic Dream is struggling to find developers for the project. This is a little disappointing, because that trailer was freaking crazy. It was freaking nuts. It looked great, but I mean, it was obviously like a CGI, cinematic trailer. It wasn't, and there was no gameplay or anything like that, obviously, because apparently it's as far away as 2028, and that begs the question: why did they announce it so early? It just seems ridiculous.
Yeah, I saw something about that, and I was like, 2027, 2028. Like, I just don't understand. Is mind-boggling to me, and like, part of me is like, they'll, I mean, of course, it's a couple years, like, it's gonna take a long time, but at the same time, it's like, that is so far away. Yeah, it's so far.
It's a long time. The leading theory right now is, their Quantic Dream has had some, let's say, PR struggles in recent years. And so a lot of developers have left, and it seems that they're having a lot of trouble hiring. And so they announced it early to sort of attract developers to the studio to work on the game. But that's unconfirmed as of right now. And we're never going to see this game. we're gonna be almost 30 by the time this game comes out.
I know. It's so sad.
Now, let's move on to some DC news. Titan Season 4 has begun filming. Hip hip hooray, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what to expect from this show anymore. I really don't. If they just... I don't know how their quality just dips in every season. And by dips, I mean it starts off good and then just gradually goes downhill. But... yeah, I mean, I hope this is the one that sort of saves the series, but we thought that about season 3, and it still sort of petered out, you know what I mean? But next piece of DC news, Batman producer Michael Uzlan on Facebook implied that Batgirl will have a December 2022 release. Now, this is very credible, because this Batman producer, Michael Uzlan, is quite literally a producer on like everything Batman related, like everything ever since Batman 89 to now. pretty much any Batman project you can think of, he's a producer on. So he knows what's going on, right? So yeah, so Batgirl is likely to have a December 2022 release. DC's slate this year is very nice. Very excited. Finally on the mend.
Yeah, no, it's really good. And like, I remember like before watching the Batman, I saw like the preview again of like everything, like from Black Adam to the Flash to like, you know, everything in between that. It was so good.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, now Batgirl. But next piece of DC news, Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves will be playing Batman in DC's League of Super Pets. and I was like Keanu, I feel like that's going to be jarring because it's just a Keanu Reeves, but they released a little trailer showcasing him, and it works pretty well. I was like, this is really fun. Actually, I like this a lot. But yeah, Keanu Reeves is Batman. That's fun. And moving on to some Marvel news, Bruce Campbell confirmed that he has indeed filmed a cameo for Multiverse of Madness and said, quote, a character that's been beloved for years. What does that mean? Like, I could see them doing Ash Williams. I mean, that wouldn't make any sense to as far as Marvel goes, and Marvel audiences and general Marvel audiences are going to be like, who the hell is this guy? Yeah, a character that's been beloved for years. I mean, that's super cryptic. I hope that it's Raimi's version of Mysterio that was supposed to be in Spider-Man 4. That would be really fun. But, you know, who knows? Next piece of Marvel news. And God, this is so exciting. And let me just say, I have never been happier to be wrong. The Marvel Netflix shows will officially be added to Disney Plus on March 16th in the US.
What did I tell you?
I've never been happy to be wrong. I am completely okay with this. And they are also adding parental controls on that same day because, you know, the Netflix shows obviously have very adult content. Yeah, and they also, I'm pretty sure it was also said that they are not censoring these shows, which is obviously great news. And, you know, because obviously that comes with the parental controls. So yeah, very, very, very exciting. I was looking forward to rewatching Jessica Jones, at least Jessica Jones season 1, which is a masterpiece. And yeah, I'll be able to watch that in like a week's time, basically. So awesome, super exciting. I am sad that I don't have my Daredevil icon on Netflix anymore. I've had that. It's been my icon since like 2014, 2015, and now it's gone. I had to choose a completely different character. It just doesn't feel right, but it's whatever. Next piece of Marvel news. This is according to Screen Geek. Marvel is planning a Man-Thing Halloween special similar to their Werewolf by Night special, still rumored to be releasing this year. Can Marvel do Swamp Thing better than DC? Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is interesting. Marvel seems to be doing these Halloween specials with their more, horror-based characters. I mean, yeah, I'm down. A little Halloween special on Disney Plus. Yeah, why not? You know. Also, Man-Thing. I know next to nothing about Man-Thing, so I mean, it could be interesting. Do you know anything about Man-Thing?
Not so much, but I remember didn't like Swamp Thing get like a season and just got canceled?
Yeah, Swamp Thing got a season and then they just canceled it. I'm pretty sure they canceled it before it even came out. And then I think they aired it on the CW and then they never did anything with it ever again.
And that's rough.
Yeah. Marvel about to show them up again.
Really?
Poor DC, but also not poor DC, because that is the news of the week. Very slow, not a very exciting news week necessarily. Although there's still some good stuff, but that's great because DC is back at it with the bangers. Because now we finally get to discuss the Batman. Oh, it feels good. It's good. Ever since we got that first trailer, whew. Besides No Way Home, easily my most anticipated movie, of 2022 at the very least. Jeez, man. Yeah, so let's get into this. Of course, like all our reviews, we're going to be doing non-spoilers than spoilers. Why don't you give us your general thoughts?
My general thoughts. I'm gonna read my letterbox review.
Okay.
All right. By the way, after I changed my letterbox review because on the first day, right after when the credits were rolling,
He
I
thought it
had
was
said,
ass, and he was like, "This movie's trash." And then he thought
I
about it
said,
for a second.
Shut up. I literally said that it was better than The Dark Knight, and I changed that statement for this one. Okay.
Yeah, Torn's grown. Torn's gotten some character development.
Yeah, this is my character development. All right, you ready? All right. So I said, I did not know what to expect going into this movie, and I left with awe and amazement. Matt Reeves has shown the uniqueness of what to bring with Batman and what the character means. Fantastic cinematography that lets you feel like you're living in Gotham, and it's accompanied with a great score. And I said I'll have to definitely see this movie again, but for right now, it is a 10 out of 10. See, look at that rhyme right there. But honestly, but like when you like watch this movie, actually no, this is a non-spoiler. Whatever, you're going definitely like going dive deep into what Bruce Wayne is thinking at all times.
Yeah, his psyche.
When he's Batman. Yeah, his psyche.
I think we even talked about it on this podcast. Some stuff that had come out about the plot and how it was going to delve deep into the mental health aspect of Bruce Wayne and Batman, and it certainly does that.
Yeah, for sure. It really does, because like of course he's like dark and brooding, but also he learns about like a depressive part about his family that is just, of course, you see him like throughout the movie. He's just not only like is he really aggressive and everything, but he's exhausted when he's Bruce Wayne. He's done with everything, but still manages to become what he needs to be, which is Batman. And I heard this quote from a TikTok person on TikTok saying how like while The Dark Knight is a story, the Batman is a narrative. And I like those words a lot, because the first Batman, the first like part of a trilogy right now is already doing what The Dark Knight has already done in just one film. They, of course, if you watch the movie, it's taking inspiration, yeah, from The Long Halloween.
Yeah, there's inspiration for freaking like there's some Dark Knight elements in there. There's even some The Dark Knight Rises elements in there, but the good bits, there's some. There's vibes from all over the place.
Yeah, and like of course, Matt Reeves, he knows what he's doing with Batman right now. He knows what he wants to do, and the fact that we also getting the Riddler in this one,
a very interesting take on him.
Very interesting take on him. I'll get into more why he's also interesting later. But in this movie, he is a complete mirror version of Batman. And it's so well done, because it's also like, like there's a prequel book about it, which I'll get into like later on. But the Riddler does his thing. Like, he makes sure that Batman is always on his toes at every single point of the movie.
He's very formidable.
And the thing is, what makes Riddler so like amazing and complex is that he doesn't need to be like this tank or this physical person. It's like using his mind and like having all these like hardcore like riddles for Batman to solve. It's just amazing to me. When you hear of Batman, and if you know like about Batman enough to know one of his monikers, the greatest detective, the world's greatest detective, it shows that yes, Batman is becoming a detective, but also the Riddler outsmarts him in every single way possible at times in the movie.
Yeah, that's what's great. My biggest worry about not this has nothing to do with the movie itself, but more the reaction to the film, which, we're still, we record this during the weekend, so, people are still going out and seeing it. My biggest worry is that maybe people will come out of it and think, sure, the Riddler was good, but he just felt like a weaker version of Heath Ledger's Joker, because there are some similar vibes there, but he's still very much a different character. But that is one of my worries right now.
Yeah. Also, going into like audiences, I really do feel like if people had not like understood like, you know, the Batman or like read up about it enough, they're probably going to walk out of this movie feeling like they're just missing something, because of course you do have to use your brain. You do, like, it is a detective story, and there's not too much action, and like, for people to be like, oh my god, like this doesn't have enough action. That's the one thing I do like about this movie. And I'm sure that you like about it too, Peyton, because, you know, you're a dialogue person, like exposition. But yeah, this is like literally just something for you to use your brain and something for you to think about like a lot, because you're literally on the journey with Batman. Like, you're trying to figure out the riddles himself, or you're trying to figure out the riddles with him, and also trying to figure out the story and the mystery behind the Riddler, which is so good. But yeah, that's kind of like a thing that I worry about too, is that people could walk out of this movie feeling like there wasn't enough action for them to, you know, keep them going. If people would be like, oh, it was drawn out, it was boring, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah.
I actually could have done with another 1 or 2 action sequences.
I definitely...
It certainly wasn't a bad amount, you know?
Yeah, for sure. But honestly, I think in terms of what was given to us, I think it was fine. Of course, yeah, like you said, like another action sequence or 2 will be good, but that's not something I was really craving for, to be honest.
Yeah,
I knew what we're getting into. There's already enough suspense, there's already enough suspense and tension enough with the Riddler and everything as well. Besides that, I also love another aspect of the movie was, you know, the Falcone thing, everything with Falcone and Batman having to go on the inside literally to figure out what is going on, and that's how he figures out like the truth about everything, and more. It was just like, it was so good to me. That's what I like. I'll get into spoilers later on, but that is my non-spoiler review. I love this movie. It is, like I said in my Letterboxd review, it is accompanied with a great score and how you feel like you're in Gotham because of the cinematography, and it's just amazing. This movie was... No, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it right now. I'm going to watch it. I'm not going to say it. I was going to say this movie was a masterpiece. I feel like that title is hanging on for it until I watch the movie again.
Yeah, this movie is going to benefit greatly on a second viewing. I knew that immediately coming out of it. I was like, I need to see that again before I'm like really, you know, I can really give it a true review, even though this is, you know, that's what we're doing right now. But just a disclaimer, this absolutely deserves a second viewing. And usually most of the time, anytime I have a second viewing, I enjoy a movie more. There are exceptions to that, cough, cough, Joker. But most of the time, I do like it more. But I thought about this a lot, because there's obviously very, you know, clear references and connections to previous Batman stories, Batman movies, comics, whatever the case may be. There are clear connections to that. And because of that, you think it might feel like, oh, this is just kind of the Dark Knight again, or whatever. But it truly feels like its own thing. And I was like, what about this movie feels different, other than the fact that it is the first time we are getting a detective noir story? Because the Burton movies are like really like gothic. The Nolan trilogy are essentially James Bond movies, and the Batman is Seven or Zodiac. I was like, this movie feels different, and I think I finally figured it out. This movie literally. And I think you'll agree with me. It literally feels like a graphic novel put on screen. It's like I'm watching a graphic novel.
Yeah, definitely. You also, going back into like what you said about like, you know, the comics or whatever. There's some elements to make it feel like where it's the Dark Knight Returns by Frank Miller, and you know, Frank Miller being himself is like, of course, everyone would know, if you know enough about Batman, that the Dark Knight Returns is considered one of the best Batman stories, along with a Long Halloween in terms of detective stories. But yeah, the graphic novel itself is considered one of the best, and that's I think you chose perfect words for that. It's literally watching a graphic novel on screen.
Yeah, like The Dark Knight and stuff like that. It feels like a movie, obviously, but like it feels like a blockbuster, big, movie. But yeah, this feels like it feels so intimate. This one, and it feels so almost claustrophobic in a way that. It really feels like I'm watching a graphic novel. But as far as other elements or other inspirations come from, I mean, if you're a Batman fan and you're familiar with Batman stories, I mean, you're going to see stuff from The Long Halloween is a big one. The Long Halloween, Year One, Year Zero. I mean, there's so many comic influenced elements in this film. It's a treat. It's an absolute treat for Batman fans. Like there was one point, no spoilers, of course, but there was one point where they ripped something directly out of The Long Halloween, and just the Batman fan in me was like, "Oh my god, it's The Long Halloween!" This is so cool. But yeah, other than that, like let's Zoe Kravitz as Selena Kyle. Like we already saw in the trailer, it was like she's probably going to be the best Catwoman. And that's just confirmed when you watch this movie. Yeah. I mean, she absolutely nails the role. Truly perfection. Like everything about like the voice, her vibe, the way she moves, even just everything. I'm like, yeah, that's they nailed it. And really they nailed a lot of stuff about this movie. Pattinson himself, very accurate, but also different in its own way. Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson really like to stress that this is year 2. He's still not full-fledged Batman, and he's still certainly not full-fledged Bruce Wayne. And that's one of the biggest complaints that I've seen so far, is that his Bruce Wayne feels sort of weak, and therefore his character feels one note because he hasn't really developed that Bruce Wayne persona yet. But that's very intentional. He's not there yet.
Yeah, exactly. And people seem to forget that at times, and you said it during one of our other podcasts, that Keaton's Batman is very recluse, and that's the thing is with Pattinson's Batman as well. He's very reluctant, and how he's socially awkward and everything like that, because like you said, he hasn't tapped into the Bruce Wayne persona, and that's what I will say. I'm gonna say for spoilers, but that I'm gonna say it right now. Fuck it. That how he hasn't tapped into the Playboy persona of Bruce Wayne part. Yeah.
Yeah, the Playboy aspect.
Yeah, but Playboy aspect of Bruce Wayne, like right now. So when people like say like I have been seeing those comments as well. It's like, oh yeah, like he's not Bruce Wayne. I wish we had saw Bruce Wayne or more Bruce Wayne. We only got 2 minutes of like Bruce Wayne, and I'm like, bro, like, I mean, I've been paying attention. Like, where are you at?
If you've read the reviews and you're hearing that, there's more Bruce Wayne in it than people are making it out to be.
Yeah,
it's just that he hasn't really developed that Playboy persona yet. But I mean, again, that's clearly intentional, and I think it works in this movie. But other than that, like you were talking about the Riddler before, and a great take on the Riddler. It's clearly inspired by Zodiac. It's a pretty obvious parallel, but it's done very, very well. And in Zodiac, you don't really see Zodiac, whereas in this, Riddler's an actual character. He's violent.
Oh yeah, he's violent, man.
He's clearly he's a serial killer, and let's talk about the violence while we're here. It's PG-13, but it's violent.
Yeah, I was screaming, bro, because I was in the theater, bro, and the very first part, don't spoil this right now, but yeah, that very first part of the movie, I was like, oh my god, I can't do this. Like the tension, you hear you feel the suspense and the tension. I'm just like, I can't do this right now. Like, come on.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the movie is very violent for PG-13. They clearly tried to push it as far as they could, at least. But there besides just straight up violence, there are also elements in this, and I won't say exactly what it is because it's spoilery. But there is a moment where they are, let's say, they're listening to something, and I thought maybe they'd cut away, or they would, I don't know, block it somehow. But no, they just let it play out. And I was like, Jesus, that is, they really just let it play out. And I was very, very surprised by that, even though they were still clearly pushing that rating. But yeah, other than that, Alfred in this, Andy Serkis, I really, really liked him. And I feel like another, well, not a complaint. I don't think anyone had a real issue with Alfred, but he's not in the movie really enough to really criticize or praise. That being said, I low-key liked him more than Michael Caine in some aspects, because he felt, I said it in our Dark Knight trilogy review last week, but Michael Caine to me didn't really feel as much like a father figure as he could have. And this Alfred, pretty much immediately, I got that vibe. And this is an Alfred that clearly helps him with some stuff. But yeah, you clearly get the vibe that he is sort of a father figure to Bruce. And I just didn't get that vibe from Michael Caine. So I'm really liking this Alfred so far. I think the last thing I want to get into before we get into spoilers is the freaking suit. The suit, which is just so good.
Like that is peak. That is peak right there.
Yeah, it's easily my favorite suit, I think. The only thing that comes close is Keaton's, because of how just classic and iconic that one is. But like, yeah, this one, when I think of like a modern Batman look, this is right. This is it, pretty much. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's not like 100% there because he's in year 2, but like you can see what it can be. And what it can be is the Arkham suit, essentially. But yeah, I mean, you know, the only complaint I really have is the cowl. But again, year 2, it's supposed to look, you know, sort of put together and stuff like that. But I think outside of the homemade look itself, I think my only complaint is how wide the mouth area is. If it could come in a little bit, not too much. We ain't trying to look like Bale here, but you know, just a little bit. I think that could be beneficial. But other than that, yeah, the suit is just peak Batman, peak Batman. So yeah, what would you rate the movie?
For right now, I'm giving it a 10 out of 10.
I mean, fair enough. I need to see it again to fully judge where.
No, you don't.
No, I do. Because I was like, is this a 10 out of 10? But I feel like I need to see it again to really push that score there or not. So right now, I'm going to say it's a 9 out of 10. Look, we can update this later. It's fine. But for right now, I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. It's incredible. It's incredible. It's incredible. Is it better than The Dark Knight?
Yes, it is. I jumped on that so fast.
Is it better than? I don't know if it is. I mean, it is. Okay, well, we talked about this a little bit, off air, if you will. But there are certain aspects of this movie that I think are far better than The Dark Knight. But I also think there's aspects of The Dark Knight that I think are better than this. And for that reason, I feel like they kind of level each other out. So I don't know if one is better than the other. But they're both incredible.
I was also saying off air that like, because like for how like for I feel like when they came out, they both like are gonna dominate like their eras. Like The Dark Knight came out in 2008, while this one came out in 2022. So yeah, I feel like respectively, they're both good in different aspects.
It's basically been 10 years since we got a solo Batman movie.
Pretty much.
But yeah. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. Which means it's time to get into spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, what the hell are you doing here? Get out of here.
Yeah, get out of here.
Idiot? You're not an idiot. I love you. But you're an idiot. Get out of here. Anyway, I can't believe Alfred died. Yeah.
Bro, dude, that's the one thing about Batman, bro. You never mess with Alfred, because thing is like about Alfred Solo's the worst, man.
Yeah, I did really think he was gonna die though. I was like,
Yeah, I know.
no way they're gonna kill Alfred right now.
I was like, bruh, like I was like, bro, like don't waste any circus like this.
I know.
We've already had it wasted in Marvel. Don't do it in DC.
Oh. Yeah, that dude is the king of getting killed off. But luckily, he didn't in this. Thank God. Yeah. Jeez, I don't know if I would have been upset, but I would have been a little annoyed because I really liked him.
Yeah, I think for spoilers, like, I'm gonna say this right now. I'm going straight to the end of the movie. I'm gonna go all over the place.
Okay.
The Riddler gang, some serious clan behavior.
I can feel that. Yeah.
And so like also I was like talking to Leia. Leia's a friend of ours, or a friend of mine at least. And we're saying how even this movie had like some like Watchmen vibes to it. And like the Riddler gang was reminding me of the Rorschach gang from the Watchmen show.
Yeah. It was really, yeah. I don't know about your theater, but my theater, it was when Riddler came on screen with his little live stream, he was like, hey guys, thanks for watching. That was like really funny.
Dude, yeah, freaking the Riddler definitely uses Reddit.
He's definitely just an average Reddit user.
No. Bro, like honestly, like in my theater, bro, there is like some stupid ass kid just talking. And he kept like anything he saw on screen, he would just repeat it. I'm like, shut up.
What do you mean?
Like, okay, so like in the movie, of course, you know, there's there's a line on the note, and it says "See you in hell."
Yeah,
and the kid's like, "See you in heaven." I'm like, oh my god, I'm about to fucking kill. I'm about to go off. I'm about to freaking be Bruce Wayne on this kid right now.
You're in the back of the theater. You're like, shut the fuck up.
No, I'm like, dude, like, why are you talking, bro? Like, stop it. But like, I think one of my favorite parts of the film was the beginning of the Halloween scene, and how they're looking into the darkness. And like at different points of the movie,
yeah,
with the bat signal shining in the side, I was like, this is so badass.
What a great score!
Also, that is a fantastic score.
Michael Giacchino learned how to say it. I learned how to say it. Giacchino.
Nice, Michael Giacchino, man, the GOAT, the Blake Neely of comic book movies.
Literally. Some may say it's too close to the Imperial March, but I don't care. It's still amazing. I don't care.
I don't care. It's still amazing. I think also like another one of my favorite shots was going back to the end of like the flare and the flooding. That was crazy.
Yeah, and here was my thing. This is why I feel like I need to see it again, partially, other than just generally seeing it again. I felt personally, and this isn't necessarily a bad thing, I felt like did it end a little abruptly, which is odd considering it's a 3-hour movie.
I don't think it ended abruptly, but I like I said, we talked about this off air, but when Payne's first review was, he left the theater wanting more.
Absolutely,
and I can understand that to a degree. I feel like for me, was that the ending, it wasn't abrupt, but I had to understand what really went on, which I like the ending a lot more.
Yeah, well, because it's like Riddler flooded the place, and then it was like, well, shit, Gotham's flooded, bye.
Like,
again, it's not a bad thing, like, because, it's like Riddler won, technically.
Yeah, he won. That's the one thing I like about it, too, because I feel like in a lot of, that's the one thing is that, like, in a lot of comic book movies, the hero always wins, in which, like, I like it when the heroes lose. Hence why I like Infinity War a lot more.
Empire.
Like, Empire as well, yeah. But yeah, like, I really liked how the Riddler won. And, like, it literally shifted everything. And that's what, like, I really do feel like going towards the second movie is that, like, yeah, he's gonna have to tap into that Playboy persona and like, you know, use a little bit of that little money he got.
Yeah, I liked how, like, before this movie came out, one of the bigger criticisms of Batman as a character was Bruce Wayne has all this money and he could like put it towards like all this stuff. Like, he could just single-handedly essentially save the city. And in this movie, they're like, bro, what the fuck? You're not doing anything. What are you doing?
Yeah, it's like, bro, like come on, like help out. But yeah, so dude's gonna have to have a new personality.
Yeah.
In this one, a villain that I wanted to see was hinted multiple times throughout the movie. Hush.
Yes, he was.
Hush.
I wanted to talk about that. Yeah.
Hush. I want to see Hush.
I want to see Hush very badly too.
So bad.
What was the biggest? Bruce Wayne? No, Thomas Wayne had someone killed. Who did he have killed?
It was like the shit. He was like a reporter or something. Like
yeah, report, and the reporters was like something Elliot or whatever.
Yes, Elliot,
and obviously Elliot's the last name of Thomas Elliot. Is that his name?
Yeah, Thomas Elliot. Yeah.
Yeah, who was Hush. So very, very, very exciting. There's so many things in this movie that's like, could this be the sequel? Could this be the sequel? Because it's like there's sort of this underlying vibe that maybe there's something more going on underneath Gotham. Cough, cough, Court of Owls. So that could be going on. You got we're in spoilers, so we got the Joker, and of course we got these Hush references. And that's one of my favorite aspects about this movie is that this isn't an origin story without being an origin story. And the world feels already lived in. It feels like the universe is already established and we're just jumping in because we are. But yeah, with this flooding stuff, it essentially acts like Gotham's origin, basically. Because like Gotham is still sort of a cesspool in this. But like once it's flooded, they're like, okay, now we're really going to be like Gotham is the worst place on earth.
Yep.
So yeah, that'd be yeah.
let me just say, also like the beginning. I'm going back to the beginning of the movie where I was like terrified for my life when freaking really like smacks the guy on the back of the head, bro. He like yelled. I'm like, oh my god! I know. He just murked this dude, and so that happened. You know, he's like tying him up and everything. That kid. People were saying that kid could be like Robin or something, the mayor's kid.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But I don't want that to happen, though. I don't want that to happen. I feel like it's just a symbolism to Bruce.
Yeah,
because Dad just died. Definitely. But yeah, I was like, man, that's crazy. Another fatherless child, bro.
What about the part where Riddler was captured and they totally played one of your emotions where it sounds like they made it sound like he knew who he was. Batman was Bruce Wayne. And
Bruce
Wayne. Yeah, there was even like a TV spot or something, and where it felt like they implied that Riddler knew that Batman was Bruce Wayne. And I was like, well, fuck, I didn't want to know that. God damn it. And when that was happening in the movie, I was like, God damn it, the goddamn trailer spoiled me. But then, there was obviously the psych moment, and I was like, oh, all right, cool. Yeah. But actually, this is one of the moments I wanted to talk about, because my theater, I felt, and maybe I'm just stupid, but in my theater, I felt like my theater was laughing at moments that weren't necessarily supposed to be funny. Like, there are moments that are supposed to be funny, like, at least I think this is supposed to be funny, when Batman straight up just decks Gordon in the face.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious. But then later he's like, God, you could have pulled your punches, Jesus.
Yeah. I feel like my theater laughed appropriately. Then again, going back to that freaking kid, he laughed when Gordon got punched, and he laughed when the Penguin like crashed his car. He was like laughing. I'm like, bro, ain't no fucking way.
Jesus. But my theater, and as far as like one of the parts where I was like, was that supposed to be funny? Was in that interrogation scene, and Riddler was like, oh no, this wasn't how it was supposed to end or whatever. When he was doing that, and I was like, was that supposed to be fun? Because people were laughing, and I was like, I don't Was that?
Pretty sure people were laughing at the fact that he was like screaming.
Yeah.
"Ah!"
Yeah, it was clearly like the way he was doing it, not what he was saying, but like I was like, I can't tell if I'm stupid or everyone else is stupid.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie, I was like laughing, bro. Like
there was a couple other moments that I'm blanking out on, but yeah, there was a couple more moments
like,
where I was like, was that supposed to be funny?
I also like I love like the comedy bits of like, you know, Penguin Gordon and Bruce. They're like, you know, they're like,
you just gonna leave me here? And he's waddling.
He's leaving. Yeah. there's that, and then like I okay, so going back to the Penguin, I like, of course, you know, he wasn't like, he's not in power yet because, you know, there's like Falcone going walking around. But I liked how like the Penguin, like, yeah, he wasn't like a bad guy. Like in this one, he was kind of like an anti-hero, or like a neutral force in this movie.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool. I liked him.
Colin Farrell did a great job.
Yeah, unrecognizable.
Completely.
But like, I love it. The more I watch the Penguin, I love his accent. It was so funny.
Whoa, take it easy, sweetheart.
Yeah, and then like,
and then later he was like, what is this, Riddler don't know Spanish? What's going on?
Yeah, that was funny too. Like that comedy bit was funny. That shit was cool.
Very excited for his series now.
Honestly, yeah, me too. I'm really excited for that. What else? What's another thing? Oh, man, dude, bro, just when like before the funeral scene, when like Riddler captures that guy in the car.
Yeah,
they remind me of Child's Play with Chucky. I think it was like Child's Play number 1 or 2, when like he puts a fucking bag over like his head. It's just it was so many references.
Yeah, I was like, fuck, what is this, Saw? Like,
yeah, he was doing that. But I after like watching like the trailers and everything, like all the TV spots, it felt really satisfying how the movie came together like that. That's one of my favorite things. It was like, because I saw the funeral scene because they had released it, and I'm like, oh wow, like how everything came together as like chef's kiss.
Yeah, a lot of the trailer was from like the beginning of the movie, which is obviously how you should do it. Mm-hmm. But what Daredevil vibes did you get from this?
What Daredevil vibes did I get from this?
What Daredevil vibes did you get from this?
The Daredevil vibe I got was, I mean, I said like, okay, so like in a way, like this is kind of a Daredevil vibe because like Daredevil's like pretty menacing in a way.
Yeah.
When like the cop at the beginning, like when they were on like the scene for the mayor, on a car scene for the mayor, the cop was like, oh, like, you know, like what is he doing here? And then like Gordon's like, he's with me, and he's just staring at him. And I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, Pattinson had a death stare in this. I was like, that's good.
It was so
good.
It was so good, yeah. Because Pattinson, he knew how to move his eyes, man. His eyes are just fucking amazing. There's that one, another Daredevil one where he's just fucking going again, like he's like killing the Riddler clan member on the top of the rafters after he takes that adrenaline shot.
Well, I don't know about kill, but
no, he wasn't killing him, but like he was just beating his ass.
Yeah,
that was amazing.
There were moments where Batman was essentially beaten, and that kind of how Daredevil has that sort of vibe. How one of my favorite things about Daredevil is how he just gets beat the fuck up, but he's and when he gets back up and he still fights, but he's clearly like exhausted and tired. Mm-hmm. And there wasn't like a lot of that in this, but there was a little bit, and I appreciated that. But it was actually one of the comedy beats where I was like, I got some Daredevil vibes. It's when he activated the sort of like a glider suit thing.
Oh yeah,
and he just completely fails, and he gets up. He's like, God damn! He walks limps away.
He's like, oh.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, this is some Daredevil vibes. But then the other one, which is a little bit less so, but his voice.
Oh yeah,
of course, nothing like Bale. Thank God. It's just just made his voice deeper. That's all he did, as it should be.
What you see in the sky, I'm like, oh, it made me nut. Also, like people were saying how like so the actor who plays Tim Drake in Titans.
Yeah, he's
people
in
were
this.
saying how like I know he was saying he was in it, but people were saying how he could become Tim Drake in this Batman.
Then there's
as well.
two Tim Drakes played by the same actor in two different universes. I doubt they're gonna do that.
No, I mean, I think they'll do it. I'll give Matt Reeves a call right now.
Yeah, no, do it.
Do it. All right, hold on. Wait. All right. It's on call right now.
All right.
Oh god. I'm cramping. Oh hi.
Hi, hello.
For anyone that doesn't know, I just call Peyton. So that's for a blooper reel.
The fuck were we talking about?
we're talking about Tim Drake.
Oh yeah, he had. I thought I sort of got the vibe that was like maybe he has a bigger role in this.
Mm-hmm.
But no, he just kind of once he's gone, he's gone. No.
Yeah.
But hey, he gets to be in a Batman movie.
Yeah, he gets to be in a Batman movie, and he's in Titans. Man's making his bank.
Yeah, but
love to see it.
Let's talk about the thing that people love to talk about in modern movies: CGI.
Mm-hmm.
I'll admit there were some moments where I was like, "Oh, what was that? I don't know what that."
I honestly did not notice any CGI in this,
bro. The picture I sent you.
Oh yeah,
the picture, where he cuts the thing and falls in the water. I was like, oof. I was like, that was. I mean, I'm gonna cut it some slack because it was still good. Don't get me wrong, but I was like, I could tell it was CG.
Mm-hmm. Definitely CG when like he like hits the fucking like when the gliding scene. Definitely some CG in there.
They're in parts of the car chase. I could tell were CG.
Yeah. Yeah, car parts were CG, but him going through the fire was all real. It's all practical. That was nice to see.
Yeah. Speaking of that car chase, freaking sick.
that was amazing.
Sick.
But the score with it, I was like listening to it before like I hopped on the podcast. Oh my god! But like my favorite part, which I admit I want to see more of. I haven't listened to the entire soundtrack. I wanted to see like more. A more horror score. I want more of that.
I thought it was pretty horror with like the super high violins going like or whatever.
Well, I know like it was like I know there was like there were definitely moments like that within the score, but I want like a whole song dedicated to like a horror bit, you know?
Yeah, that's
you get what I'm saying.
But yeah, that car chase, Matt Reeves proved you can have a Batman car chase without the Batmobile being a tank.
Oh yeah, true.
Just crashing through buildings and stuff. But
the thing is like before that, like when after he interrogates Catwoman, or actually no, this is like before he fucking like when he's revving that thing up, dude. I was like, holy shit, this is amazing.
Yeah.
I like that's when my jaw dropped right there when he was like revving that Batmobile up. I was like, "Oh my god, it's here!"
Yeah, the cinematography in this movie was just something else. The shot, like you were talking about earlier, when he takes the adrenaline and he just goes through all those guys. That it like he gets the gun and he like puts it like in between his arms, just slams him into the pole. The way the camera's like zooms in and he turns around, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
And like I love how like it was very very like blurry, had a little blurry effect in there.
Yeah,
that was
it's just
amazing.
Focused on him, sort of depth of field. But it's so good.
Oh my god! I think like one of my favorite shots in the movie is of course when he's like staring out in the city, like the one we've seen in the trailers. That was nice. Yeah, anytime when he's like near the bat insignia, that's a fucking amazing. But also at the end, when he's like talking to like Catwoman, that was like really fucking beautiful. Oh my god, I really want to see this movie again. Probably see it next week.
Yeah,
I can't.
You saw it in IMAX.
I did see it in IMAX, bro.
I'm jealous,
bro. The opportunity was there, and I had to take it.
Fair enough.
It was right there. I like literally. I was surprised that like it wasn't even sold out. So yeah, what happened was I was like literally on the way. I got the tickets on the way to school, and I was like, you know what, like I don't want to go to Casablanca this time, but I also don't want to go to Silverado. So let's try Palladium. and it was like, it was right there, bro. Like no one had like got like any seats. Like, so I was like one of the first people to get like seats in there, and I was like, it's perfect. But I wanted it to be stacked, bro. I wanted to have like that IMAX, AVX, recliner seats. I want champagne next to me.
I wanted that for No Way Home, but it just sold out.
In IMAX.
It sold out so well. Yeah, I don't even know if it fucking sold out. The goddamn site wouldn't. It wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. It's just,
yeah, I know. It was just that was like impossible.
The worst.
And I'm glad it didn't happen for the Batman.
Yeah,
because like God. I know they ended up like delaying like some of the.
Yeah, they did like a slow rollout this time,
which needs to happen a lot more.
Yeah, pros and cons.
Definitely, but hey, we did it.
We didn't talk about Gordon all that much. Jeffrey Wright
as Gordon, dude. I'm gonna say this. I loved it in What If, but I also loved it a little bit more here. His voice, Jeffrey Wright's voice.
Yeah, Jeffrey Wright's voice is
is amazing. I love the fact how like the one thing I love about Gordon the most is that not only is he like, of course, he's a good cop, and like how like he sticks up for Batman when no one else does. That's the one thing I love about Gordon the most.
Yeah, even at the like detriment of his career sometimes.
Yeah, he's like oh, the freaking the cops like during the end of the scene. There's like the scene at the precinct is like, "You protecting them, Gordon?" I'm like, bruh.
Oh yeah, one of the funny bits with Gordon before Batman punches him is when you see them just in each other's face.
Yeah,
it's just like, the fuck's going on in there.
Mm-hmm. I think like, dude, what annoyed me in this movie was the cops. They're trying to see like Batman's face. I'm like, bruh, they're really touching his fucking costume like that.
You wouldn't?
Oh, what?
Bro, I mean, I would try to remove his cowl, but
I'm not trying to remove his cowl, bro. Someone else can get punched for that. And then like there's like he's like let me see his face, and like, bro, he got with the swiftness. He was like, man, get the fuck off me. Who the fuck you think you're touching, bro? Fuck out of here.
Is it time?
Is it time for what?
To talk about the guy.
What guy?
In Arkham Asylum.
Oh, Joker.
Who?
Yeah. Are you talking about Joker?
Bro, that's not a Joker. That's some guy. Just some guy in some clown makeup. I don't know who that is.
Shit, you're right. That's Mad Hatter.
Barry Keoghan.
Yeah, Barry Keoghan.
How'd you feel about him?
Wish we saw his face a lot more. I wanted to see face clearer.
How'd you feel about his voice?
Pretty decent. I like his laugh.
I felt like I could hear the Irish come through a little.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I was like, you could hear the Irish, you could hear it. I was just about to say that. But yeah, that was so good. It was good.
I wasn't sure I felt about his laugh. I don't know. I'm always sort of like apprehensive when it comes to like a new Joker. So it's just like, I would have to see more. But like, I really like the way they did. I really like the way they introduced Joker in this. Matt Reeves said that there was a scene sort of in the middle of the film that was gonna deal with Joker, but they cut that out to have it more focused, on the main story. But he said that scene will be released at some point, which is exciting.
Definitely,
just to see more of that.
Definitely a Calendar Man type moment.
Mm-hmm. And I got massive Telltale vibes. I don't know.
Yes,
because he's not the Joker yet. He's just some dude in Arkham right now, and he's in the Telltale games he still has the green hair and he's sort of like bleached face, whatever. But he's not the Joker. He's just this really off kilter guy, and I feel like I don't know if that's exactly what they're going to do here. But at least the fact that he's in Arkham and he's not the Joker yet, that's where we're at. He also said that in this Joker, which you can't really see because he's sort of, shadowed, but apparently this Joker, similar to Jack Nicholson's Joker, he's going to have like a permanent smile sort of thing. But yeah, we're gonna have to see more of that. But yeah, he seemed good. He seemed good.
Yeah. one thing I've said probably on this, I've said off air, and probably said on this podcast, is that I don't want them to do a Joker like until like maybe like a second trilogy, if that's even possible. Because I feel like we've already got enough Joker. Everyone and their mom is always going to like compare every villain to Heath Ledger. So it's like, might as well just not have a Joker for right now. Like I said, of course, everyone from the second film wants Mr. Freeze, and I definitely want Hush.
Pattinson wants Court of Owls.
Yeah, Court of Owls as well. I feel like let's see, I feel like if they were to do like, Mr. Freeze or something like that, they could do like a kind of like a second. He can make him like a secondary antagonist or something like that.
And Matt Reeves, I honestly, I feel like he's bluffing a little bit when he says it, but he says he wants to like keep everything grounded. I'm like, do you though? Because like I believe him. I believe that he does want to keep things grounded, but I feel like it's still not going to be as grounded as a Dark Knight trilogy. You know what I mean? Like that's clearly like everything there is just based in reality mostly. But even in this one, I feel like there's a bit more of a comic booky vibe than the Dark Knight trilogy.
Yeah, for sure. That's also the one thing that people they want more of in Batman, is that they want him to be more whimsical. Like, because people like some people are tired of the grounded Batman because we've already gotten it, and like it's something that is just they're tired of seeing. So like him being more whimsical would be they'll be cool. Yeah, because and that's also one of the reasons why like they want another Robin, for this Batman to have another Robin, because before Batman had a Robin, he was very broody and he was very depressed until like Robin came along, and he was like very happy. So like maybe we'll see some things of that. I don't know, but that's one of the complaints that I've seen on like social media and stuff like that. Yeah, definitely.
I feel like they're that. I mean, we talked about it a little bit off mic, but Pattinson wants a Robin as long as he's 13 or something like that. But yeah, I think a Robin could work. I don't know if it would work this soon. Maybe in like a third movie or something like that. But as far as the Joker goes, I don't care. If he's the villain, sick. If he's not, cool. But I do think that the best way to do it is to have, I don't know, it doesn't really matter who the villain of the second one is, but the Joker shows up as sort of just like a secondary villain or even a tertiary villain. I think that could work as well. And Batman sort of like takes him out, or it could be like he's sort of like the villain for like, I don't know, maybe like the first part of the movie, and then Batman takes care of him, and then there's a bigger threat behind that. They could do something like that. Some like the Long Halloween. How he's there, but he's not the main focus.
Yeah.
So yeah, something like that I think would be ideal.
But I mean, like, I have nothing else to say. I mean, like, of course, we talked about Catwoman, where Zoe Kravitz is damned in perfection.
Oh yeah, well, just Catwoman's whole arc.
Oh yeah, her arc is amazing.
Yeah, because her relationship with Falcone, or her being his daughter, was ripped straight out of the Long Halloween. We didn't really talk about that too. The specifics of that. The Falcone story to Bruce with his dad saving him. Straight out of the Long Halloween, literally. But yeah, Catwoman's whole thing, how her friend was murdered by Falcone, and that was the one thing I was talking about in the non-spoiler section. The moment where I was like, are they gonna cut away from this? And they just played the whole recording of her being murdered. I was like, Jesus, that's rough.
Yeah. Also, because Zoe Kravitz is in this movie as well, it reminded me of Kimmy, because like, and I'm gonna just say, I mean, without spoiling, like Zoe Kravitz like hears like a recording of like another like woman getting murdered. It's kind of like it was like a funny parallel to that. Yeah.
Does she also like wear wigs in that?
Does she wear?
Or is that just her?
Actually, yeah. Like she does like wear wigs. Yeah, because like she wears like a blue wig, or she has like blue hair.
I can't believe the Batman copied Kimmy. You hate to see it.
I know, right? But
I have to drop my score to a 3 out of 10.
But also like, what else did I warn? Oh yeah, like going back to Robin and Catwoman name drops Bloodhaven.
Yeah.
No,
well, yeah, I wanted to talk about that too. She's going to Bloodhaven. There is a rumored Catwoman series in supposedly in the works, and that could just be her, doing things in Bloodhaven, which would be a nice like change of scenery, even though Bloodhaven is in ways similar to Gotham. How it's a fucking shithole.
But it's also where Nightwing works at.
It is indeed where Nightwing works at eventually.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that could be really interesting. Along with that, well, Gordon is getting his own thing too.
Yeah, Gordon's getting his own thing, and Penguin's getting his own thing too. We just talked about that. But people were saying like why are we getting a GCPD series? Why don't I just watch Gotham? I'm like, because Gotham's fucking ass.
Well, not only is it ass, I mean, it's a completely different series. I mean, does it take place in Gotham? Does it focus on Gordon? Yeah, but like Gotham is just weird, like alternate universe where there's like the origins of like the villains and stuff like that, and it's like Bruce is a kid and stuff like that. But this new one, which is apparently going to be focusing on Gotham or GCPD, but also be focusing on Arkham supposedly. But also it's going to be in year 1 of Batman, so he's already going to be Batman. Pattinson would probably, I'd imagine, show up in it. I wonder what the Batsuit would look like if it's year 1, or maybe they just use the same one. I don't know, but it sounds infinitely more interesting already than Gotham.
Yeah,
but yeah. As far as the Penguin series, I have no idea what to expect from the Penguin series.
Yeah, I mean, we can already guess like what it is, like his like rise to power and everything. But like in terms of like villains or anything like that, like or like conflicts, yeah, we will have to see about that.
Yeah, and apparently they're trying to make the Penguin series rated R because they have more freedom there. So they can, we can hear Penguin say the F word. Wait, didn't he say? No, someone said the F word in this. I was like, whoa, this is a kid's film, sir. What are you doing? It was like towards the beginning of the film.
Wait, you're talking about like the FU word or the FA word?
No, FU. The FU word.
Oh yeah, my bad.
I think it was a cop in the beginning. It was like, the fuck you do, or something like that. I'm pretty sure it was just a cop that said it.
Yeah, my fault. I've been watching way too many films where they be using the FA word.
SMH. What the films you watch and using the F?
Well, I'm watching like old movies, and like they say it in like they say it in The Hangover too.
They do.
And they say that. It was like one time they say like the FA word, and then like they say like the R word in there.
Didn't that come out in like 2010?
It came out in 2008.
Oh, that checks out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still not okay, but I mean, it checks out.
Yeah. So like, yeah, that's why. I mean, of course, like the whole thing with like, Thomas Wayne, the renewal, and how like
of course
using it against how like, the renewals, like, for a chance to have quicker cops and everything.
Well, not only that, but what I found incredibly interesting, and I really didn't think they'd go there, is that Martha spent time in Arkham.
Yeah. Yeah, she was on her Joker moment.
Yeah. Yeah, clearly if things went another way, we'd have a Flashpoint situation here, but
oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I thought it was really interesting that they decided to go with the Martha being kind of crazy thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's really interesting.
It is really interesting. I also what you call it? Oh my god. One of my favorite things, like seeing the movie, is how like, of course, everyone's like in Gotham's like pretty corrupt.
Yeah.
But like using the detective mode, or giving the detective mode lens to Catwoman, and her like looking at to see how many people are corrupt in Gotham is so fucking cool to me. Like I liked it a lot.
Yeah, the gadgets in this were great. It gave me like Batman the Animated Series vibes in the sense that it's like a freaking contact lens as a camera and stuff. I'm like, that's some high tech shit. But he's also using like really old computers and analog stuff, and and it's how Batman the Animated Series is like in this weird like, is it modern day, but also feels like the 40s sort of deal. So I really like that as well. That sort of aesthetic.
One what else? Going back to like the Riddler. Yeah, because like going back to the prequel book, like the prequel book, it states that how like like the Riddler was an orphan, and I love like that's the one thing like I love about Bruce Wayne and like the commentary of Bruce Wayne and like how his lifestyle is that like the Riddler was like saying how like you weren't really an orphan if you had a tower like staring upon the city, like I was like a real orphan like when I had like when children were dying in the winter, and like you had rats like eating at your feet and fingers and everything. I was like, wow, that's very powerful.
Yeah, and how Bruce is sitting in his mansion all sad and shit, and it's like you have no idea.
yeah. He's like, you have no idea how to feel. But at the same time, I was like, really, do you know the definition of an orphan is? The word you should have used was privileged.
Oh yeah, actually, speaking of that, that's one of the parts I liked, but also thought was really funny. How they were like, Bruce, you're a fucking privileged white boy. Like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I thought that was fun. How they really leaned into like Bruce Wayne is privileged, and it's like how maybe he's fighting a losing battle, and maybe Batman isn't necessarily necessary. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that. That aspect was really really fun.
Speaking of that, there's a line where Catwoman says like all these like white cops and everything, those are corrupt. People are, of course, people being people, ignorant. They're all like, "Why does Campbell have to say something about that?" And people were saying like, people were making fun of Ben Shapiro because Ben Shapiro was like the Batman's just not good. And he's like, "Oh yeah," he's like, "Oh boys, we won. The Batman's a banger. If this motherfucker don't like it."
Actually, you'll find that the Batman isn't actually good. It is in fact a woke piece of garbage. You know what I mean?
People were like, there's some question of controversy with that line.
Oh, but yeah, like Catwoman, how essentially like was talking directly to Bruce, and he was like these fucking rich white boys like Bruce Wayne, like, and Bruce is just like, well, shit.
He's like, well, damn.
We almost had.
Yeah, there was like two name drops of that, or two like not name drops, but like two lines where Catwoman's like, all these white cops and like everything like that. So
Bruce and Selena were kind of horny throughout this.
No, like their chemistry is like some of the best. It's like literally rivaled with Andrew and Emma Stone.
Damn, that's a high bar.
It is a high bar, but I'm saying it right now.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
Well, I mean,
I was thinking more like previous Catwoman, and obviously it's easily the best one. As far as their chemistry goes,
their chemistry is rivaled against Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone for me.
Wow.
And you know what? I'm sure they're dating right now. I know they're dating.
Are they?
I feel like they are, bro. They're very intimate offset because especially they have a lot of photo shoots and everything. They're very intimate, and they're flirting with each other in interviews.
Emma Stone, Andrew Garfield vibes.
Really, I honestly like. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they are dating because they're
Zoe Kravitz is married.
She's married?
Yeah.
To who?
No, she's not. I have no idea.
I was
like, this man's accusing Zoe Kravitz of cheating. Oh no.
It should have been me. Not
Holy
him.
shit. Wait a minute. She got divorced in 2021.
Ah!
Oh no.
Rob, slide in, my boy.
You just outed something. Oh no.
This is your time.
Yeah, she got divorced in 20. That's crazy. that's timing. Interesting. I can't believe you've done this.
What have I done? No.
Oh.
What?
Robert Pattinson is taken.
He is?
Yeah.
By who?
I don't know. I don't know who this is. I have no idea who this is.
Probably fake. Are you reading this on Google?
Yeah.
It's fake.
Oh, I don't know. They're kissing right here in this photo.
That's right. Robert Pattinson does have a girlfriend. Yeah, that's right.
But they're not married. No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
maybe they have a polyamorous relationship. Who knows?
Yeah, just like freaking Tessa Thompson and
Taika Waititi and what's her name?
the throuple.
That man's winning at life. That man's winning.
He really is.
Imagine being Taika Waititi.
Imagine having a genius brain like that guy's.
A comedy god.
Really.
I did want to say, even after the Batman, Val Kilmer has the best voice.
Yeah, I know.
That's just still so wild to me. Val Kilmer, of all people. But yeah, Robert Pattinson did, very good job on the voice, and obviously embodied Batman very, very well.
Yeah, for sure.
But he is one note and boring, and therefore I have to give this movie an 8 out of 10. No, but I have to see this again. I have to. You know what I'm excited for? Because this movie's like graphic design department has been fucking elite. I'm copying the steelbook of this immediately because I know that shit's gonna be hard as fuck. I'm copying that shit so fast.
I know, right?
I think it's rumored to be coming out like in June or something, which is good.
I really loved. I love the ciphering as well. The ciphering of all the Riddler stuff.
Oh yeah, and how they use the cipher to it's like spelled a word with the characters and shit.
Yeah, and like another funny bit that people in my theater laughed at when like they got the thumb drive is like
thumb drive, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, that's one of the aspects that I feel like people miss in Batman is that he is quippy, unintentionally quippy, but he is quippy, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but this is really the only Batman movie where I feel like we've gotten sort of similar to that kind of.
It's like thumb drive. That was so funny to me.
Thumb drive.
and then like after the scene after, freaking Robert Pattinson like hands Gordon the thumb, and then Gordon's like, Jesus. That was so funny. I like that a lot. See, like you can have humor in a Batman movie.
Yeah, without it being MCU.
Yeah. But like I said, that's just another thought I had, but I think that is the show for me.
Wait, actually, one last question.
What?
Overall, is Robert Pattinson the best Batman?
Right now, yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
I'd have to agree. Because it's like, as far as the voice goes, Kilmer has it, but like it's a shit movie. So.
Definitely, in terms of voice, he's top 3. I like his suit a lot, except for the cowl. But like I said, we're giving it a side because it's year 2.
Yeah, it's like he has at least the most consistent package because, like, again, Kilmer is good, but he's just not like completely, you know, like he has the best voice, and that's pretty much it. Like his Bruce Wayne is fine, but it's not elite. And you got like Christian Bale, who has an incredible Bruce Wayne, but his Batman is ass. and then you got Keaton, who has a good Batman and a decent Bruce Wayne, but he doesn't necessarily excel at either, especially his Bruce Wayne, but his Batman is definitely better. And I feel like he could do it better now, which is very exciting for The Flash. But yeah, as a complete package, I think Pattinson takes it. And Affleck, I really like Affleck's Wayne. I really do.
Yeah, I like Affleck's Wayne a lot because you know, he's very smug too. You can see it. You can see how he's smug in some ways. Even in the scene where, like, you know, everyone's moving everything back to like Martha's house, and then Clark is like, you know, what'd you do with the bank?
I bought the bank. Yeah.
And then
really good stuff.
You see it. You also see it like his Mercedes, which is fucking amazing. I love his Mercedes.
It's a good looking car.
And then he's like, and Barry's like, well, what's your superpower?
I'm rich.
Yeah.
But then you got his Batman, which is the worst Batman. Anyway, no, he's not the worst Batman, but it's not his best Batman.
I like his physique. His physique is
fatty.
Pretty good.
Shut up.
He's a tank.
Fatty.
Speaking about that, I'm gonna read The Dark Knight Returns after this. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna finish it all in one.
You have it, don't you? Of course you have it.
I do have it. And I have the hardcover. I had
but as far as like Batfleck's voice, I don't like the robotic-y shit.
Yeah, I don't like the robotic thing.
And what sucks is like there's parts where he's just Bruce Wayne, and I'm like, fuck, he has a good voice. Just use his regular fucking voice, man. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, overall, Pattinson sort of has a complete package, and eventually we will be getting that Bruce Wayne persona. And I have no doubt in my mind that, especially after like Tenet, like I'm like, oh yeah, he can do Bruce Wayne easy.
Also, going back to his Bruce Wayne. His car selection is amazing. That fucking 1963 Corvette. Oh my god, that was amazing.
I'm blanking.
The car he pulls up
to. Oh yes. To the funeral.
Yeah, the funeral.
Yes.
That and his Batmobile. Yes. Oh, top 3 Batmobiles for sure. Top 3 Batmobiles.
Absolutely.
All I have to say is Keaton's. Yeah, it's Keaton's. I'm a little biased because I love the Tumbler. But the Tumbler, and then it's Pattinson.
I would flip Pattinson and Bales just because as much as I am also a sucker for the Tumbler, but it still doesn't feel like a Batmobile. So,
yeah, okay, and that's fair. That's fair to say. Yeah.
So yeah, that's yeah.
But man, dude, when he pulled up to that fucking car, bro, or with that car, bro, at the funeral scene, I was like, oh my god.
But yeah, Pattinson, best Batman. Crazy.
Yep. Crazy.
Imagine that when he was cast, Robert Pattinson to be the new Batman. It was like, I think like most people, the initial reaction was just like, what? Twilight guy? And now it's like, this guy's the best Batman.
hey. I mean, people do the same thing with Heath Ledger, and look how that turned out.
Exactly. That's why I did like a double take when I first heard it. I did the kombucha girl gif meme.
Yeah,
it was just like, wait a minute, I'm like, hold on. That was basically me with the Robert Pattinson casting. I was like, Twilight. Well, wait a second, maybe this could work,
And even Bale, like Bale was like encouraging him. He was like, hey, don't listen to like anybody. Like, do your own thing. Like,
and then Pattinson said that even fueled him because he felt like he felt like because everyone had low expectations for his Batman that he knew that he could sort of do his thing and he'd be okay.
Definitely an honor for him to get that message from Christian Bale.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah, is that it?
Yeah, is that the show?
It is the show. Well, thank you guys for listening to the Avengers podcast. If you want to follow us, we're at Avengers on Twitter. That's AVENGE, nerds, all one word. If you want to follow either one of us, you can reach me at Torrentino on Twitter. Where can they reach you?
They can reach me at @itzenith_ on Twitter.
Sounds good. We have a Discord if you'd like to join the conversation there. Those will be linked in the show notes. You can check our link tree for any additional links you may be interested in. You can also review the show in-app on Apple Podcasts. If you could leave 5 stars in a review, it would really help us out. Thanks again for listening to the Avengers podcast. We'll see you next week.
Later.